vibration has turned us on. So now we're here, our wings are dry. We take off, we take flight. Wanna take you higher, higher. We can take this anywhere. Wanna take you higher, higher. Oh. A long way from the chilled out, laid back scene, staying low, shrink it down thing, hiding from authority, biding my time, thinking something would be coming for me. But it wasn't until I took the time to see the truth of me that I started to feel more free. And now I know the world is shaped by me. On a natural high, I accept, release, and fly.
I've come a long way from oozing, squeezing dreams, moved from the old to the new scene, throwing out clothes they said fit sweet, but never made me feel like me. I'm taking on a new theme, the true me. Following all the things I like to do and be. Now I see my soul smiling at me, saying everything is perfect, just the way we planned it to be. Now I can see that every time I ever had a bad ride, hard night, tough fight, the lesson was exactly right. For my growth and my oath to myself, I just wanted to know the experience of living in the human form. A gift, a sacred shift. I can still take the ride, saying hi with all the love and truth inside, but I forgot. I thought I was what I was not, and remembering is a dream, is a new scene. I am here to make a change and be the king of a new theme. Life is fun, and we are all one, connected by a web of light. Lines running heart to heart, looking into your eyes. I see your spark, your light, light in mine, and I bow to you and honor your perfect path through life. No judgment, no fight, just all in love and light. Wanna take you higher, higher. We can take this anywhere. Wanna take you higher, higher. Wanna take you higher, higher. We can take this anywhere. Wanna take you higher, higher. Oh, oh, oh. Wanna take you higher, higher. We can take this anywhere. Wanna take you higher, higher. Oh, oh, take you higher. Good morning, y'all.
Droopy mic syndrome. You're my heaven?
Take the time or you're my heaven. Let's do it. It's a beautiful day in the world. Take the time to be joyful. Take it away, Sammy.
Joy is everywhere when you take the time to see it. Throw your hands in the air, yeah. When you take the time to feel it. Take the time, take the time. Take the time to be joyful.
Ooh, yeah.
Take the time, take the time. Take the time to be joyful. We all have our troubles and we all stand still, looking out in the world and seeing what's real, what is real and what you're holding in your heart. Come on, my baby, let's get a real start. I said just take the time. Come on now, take the time, yeah. Take the time to be joyful, yeah. Take the time, come on now, take the time. Take the time to be joyful, yeah. I said joy is everywhere. You take the time to see it. Throw your hands in the air, yeah. When you take the time to feel it now. Oh, take the time, come on now, take the time, yeah. Take the time to be joyful. Take the time, take the time, oh, oh. Take the time to be joyful. Lucy. Throw your hands in the air.
Throw your hands in the air.
When you take the time to feel it.
Take the time
now.
to feel it, really.
Oh, let go of
Joy.
all your cares.
It's joy.
Yeah, just take the time to be it. Yeah. Take the time. Come on now, take the time. Oh, oh. Take the time to be joyful.
Right now, right here.
Take the time. Come on and take the time. Yeah, yeah. Take the time to be joyful. Take the time. Come on now, take the time. Yeah, yeah. Take the time to be joyful. Take the time. Take the time. Take the time to be joyful.
Take the time
To fill your life with a joy.
Take the time.
To fill your life.
Take the time to be joyful.
Yeah.
Hi, y'all. We're Sam and Lucy, and we're so happy to be here. 1 week before Christmas, during Hanukkah, we have some CDs if you haven't gotten one. They're our gift to you. And if you feel like sharing, please, you can share, obviously. Let's get in the Christmas spirit, huh?
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, he is, I seen him out there. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Tell him, Lucy. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town, yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town, oh, oh.
Santa Claus is coming.
Better make some cookies for him, y'all.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
He knows when you're awake.
Yeah, that's right.
But he knows if you've been better or good. So you
Better be good for goodness. I'm looking at you, Jim Cadigan. You better be good, boy. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
You know it. Santa Claus is coming.
to town.
Take it away, Sammy.
We got Rudolph too, y'all. Santa Claus, yeah, he's coming on to town.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
A little bit creepy.
He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So you better be good for goodness sake. You better be good for goodness sake.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Better not pout, I'm telling you.
Tell him, Lizzie. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, he is. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Y'all know it now?
Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh. Santa Claus is coming to. I saw him on the way here, you guys. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah. Santa Claus is. I think I saw him at the mall the other day too. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah.
Santa Claus is coming
He's definitely checking that list.
to town. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Thank you, Sam and Lucy. It's nice to have them back, isn't it? Yeah. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. This is a wonderful place, and you're going to so enjoy this service today. You're going to leave here feeling inspired, encouraged. You're going to leave here knowing there's a power for goodness that's flowing through you that you can use to attract everything in life that's good. More love, more joy, more health and prosperity. So know you're in a good place this morning, and all you have to do to bring about more of this goodness, more love, more joy, is just leave all your troubles, your fears, you would have, could have, should have, leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, for there more love, more joy, more Christmas cookies, more of everything that makes us feel alive. Because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, we got several announcements this week, so hang in there with me. The first one is that next Sunday there will be no Sunday service. Instead, at 2 o'clock, we're having a potluck at Tom and Mai's house, also the Shelty and the Pickapoo's house. They actually the ones that own the place. We just pay the rent. And everyone's welcome. 2 o'clock, our place, there's a flyer outside with the address, and you're very welcome, and it'll be a wonderful time. We'll have a candle lighting service on Christmas Eve, 6:30 here. We're going to have harp music. It will be a really beautiful ceremony. So that'll be 6:30 on Christmas Eve. We will have the Burning Bowl and White Stone ceremony on January 1st. If you never come to that, it's a great way to get the new year off to a good start, to leave the old stuff behind, and to bring in what you want to experience in the coming year. So that'll be a fun service. You'll really enjoy that. Sam and Lucy are going to be here for that as well. Also, let me tell you, it's coming up. You know, we got to get those stockings filled, and I can't think of a better way than Sam and Lucy's CD outside. And I think, what are y'all asking for that CD?
Love donation.
Well, in a green form. Yeah. You know, no jingling and jangling. We don't want any coins in there, but that'll make a perfect stocking stuffer. So you want to check that out. I was also told, you know, last week we said that we were going to send 3 kids to youth camp, and we needed to figure out how we were going to pay for the airfare. And Tangela wanted me to tell you that anonymous donor has stepped up and bought all 3 of them for us. So 3 kids will be going off to youth camp, and that is a really wonderful thing. Now we're getting ready to draw the ticket for the winning the raffle for all those 5 gift cards. Somebody bring Fran come on up here, Fran. Fran's done a great job. Give Fran a round of applause. The Vanna White of CSL. Thank you, Fran. Pick one out for us. Rosalind?
Hard to read. Their number is 352-598-5962. Hard to read your handwriting. Looks like 352-598-59. Looks like 82. Very hard to read. It looks like M.A. something, Gerard, G-E-R-A-R, something last name.
Well, we'll give them a call and let them know they've won the lottery. So we got their numbers. Sorry. Thank you, Fran, and thank you for supporting that. All right. Well, I think those are all of my announcements. Sam and Lucy, you got something to get them up out of the seat?
So it's Christmas time, Hanukkah time, and all the times are happening right now. And it's a good time to be together.
Look how far we've come, and look at what we've done. Together we are strong, and we will carry on. Tell me what you see, the truth of you and me. We can look into our hearts and see the love we bring, and love is all we are. Let's get together, let's be together. We can reach the stars when we come together. Let's be together. This love for one another, I feel it getting stronger, and we don't have to feel divided any longer. And even if I just met you today, see our connection in a deeper way. Yeah, love is all we are. That's right, y'all. Let's get together. Let's be together. We can reach the stars. And when we come together, let's be together. So fun to wake to this new awareness, and we can play in our connectedness, and we see what we all have in common. And it's so fun to realize our dreams and desires are so much more alike than we ever knew. The path we walked before has brought us to this open door. And all I know is this new world's full of possibilities. And life is so much more fun than we ever realized it could be. Love is all we are. Sing it with us, y'all. Let's get together. Let's be together.
We can reach the stars.
We can reach the stars. And when we come together,
let's be together.
Let's be together, yeah. Love is all we are.
Love is all we are.
Let's get together.
Let's get together.
Let's be together.
Be together.
We can reach the stars. And when we come together, let's be together. Love is all we are, yeah. Let's get together. Let's be together. We can reach the stars. And when we come together, let's be together. We get to be together.
Love it. We can reach the stars if we be together. So I knew there was something I had left out, and that was I wanted to tell you a little bit about this building that we are exploring. You know, we're thinking about buying a building because our rent here is due to go up in 23 a good bit, and so it would be smart for us to have a building of our own. That's something this center, this community has strived for 40 years. Wouldn't it be wonderful if this is the year we do it? And we can do it. We can do it. This is the building we're looking at, but keep your eyes open because you never know. You never know that something else might pop up. It's 1660 Masters Drive. It's about 4,000 square feet. The owner there, who is the son of Judy James, who is an amazing practitioner here, he owns the building. He's willing to sell it to us for $400,000. He will hold the mortgage for 15 years at 5% interest. So it's a really good deal for us. We can open the space up and we could have everything that we need in this space. But we're going to have some issues we're going to have to deal with. First, we got to get hold of the fire marshal to see if we can do it. We have to put a new roof on it. We have to do the electricity inside. It has to be connected to city sewer, and there's a parking issue we'll have to deal with. So there's some challenges. But you know, we can do it if we put our mind to it. We deserve a home of our own. We deserve a place where we know we can be for as long as we want to be. So put this in mind, and this or something better. That's how Spirit works, this or something better. But we deserve a home, and this year, we're going to step into a new home of our own. Spirit has already told me, so I'm not turning back. And yeah. And given that, let's get this service off to a start. And come up on, Jim Saul. Tim's going to do a reading and treatment for us.
Good morning. I have bad news for you. It's not winter yet. Winter doesn't start till December 21st. So get ready for some, sunshine and blue skies. That's all I got to say. Before I do a reading, last week I was asked, what is the spiritual living garden club that I'm talking about? And when they asked the question, I could just see kind of a worried look in their face. And so this is what I told them. I can tell you what it's not about. It's not about getting free labor to dig ditches in the hot sun, okay? It's not about work. It's about having fun. And I went on to say, what it's about is education, showing you that the world and all its parts are alive, are aware, and are sentient. All those plants that you see outside, they have an awareness of you. That the plants and animals have feelings, and that nature, feels neglected, abused, and forgotten at the moment. So we need to awaken to our spiritual connection with it all, which is learning about oneness. And it really is about learning, and once you learn to really feel the emotion of nature, you will want to be in it and care for it. So my reading this morning is kind of in this same vein. It's really quite lovely. It's from a book that's title is 365 Days of Walking the Red Road, The Native American Path to Leading a Spiritual Life Every Day by Terry Jean, Jean. And this was written by Yellow Jacket, Sogoyawatha, a Seneca tribe, 1752 to 1830. And he wrote this, and I think it's just lovely. We first knew you as a feeble plant, which wanted a little earth upon to grow. We gave it to you, Afterwards, when we could have trod you under our feet, we watered and protected you. And now you have grown to be a mighty tree, whose top reaches the clouds and whose branches overspread the whole land, whereas we, who were the tall pines of the forest, have become feeble plants and need of your protection. I think that's just lovely because it shows the circle. We help, and then they help us. So let's take that thought and go into our morning prayer. And know with me that oneness is a reality that we can awaken to. A oneness where God and I become one. And God is everything. So that means I and everything become one. Where I can help anyone or anything that comes to my door and knocks and asks for help. With an open heart and an open mind, I can help them. And in so doing, I help myself. This is the concept of oneness. This idea that if I help you, I help myself. Not a single person, not a single living thing should come to my door and ask, and I reject them. Not one. Even my enemies, if they come and knock on my door, I will do what I can to help them. And it's for my own benefit. For when I know that the trees and the bushes and the birds and the sky and clouds are a part of me, then I will choose to care for them with this loving heart. And it's such a beautiful thing. One of my most favorite spiritual practices is to water my garden with a garden hose and spend just a minute with each plant. How you doing? Would you like some water? Are you thirsty? It's this connection that will heal our ecology. It's this connection that will heal us. So what I know is that each and every one of us can awaken to this oneness of all things. And that in so doing, we will heal the whole of the world, all the people, all the environment. And so I give thanks for the center, for it's the root of my spiritual awakening. I give thanks for each person here, for they encourage me to open my heart and mind and be loving. I know Ken will give me inspiration, as well as every person in this room will give me inspiration and compassion. And so that's my goal for the week and the month and the year and the rest of my life, is to become aware of this oneness of all things. And in so seeing, become a healing energy for the world and the people on it. And so I can release this prayer, knowing that this is occurring right this very minute, in this room and all over this country and the world. I can release this prayer simply and easily by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world can live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. I think that's what we need more of, y'all. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Sing with us. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world can live as one. Can live as one.
Thank you, guys. That was beautiful. And really a good fit for my talk today. My talk today is Walk in the Light, and talking a little bit about Hanukkah. Hanukkah starts tonight at sundown. That was a problem with the trivia contest we had earlier this week. There almost a fight broke out in Shaughnessy's trivia contest about that, but we got it settled. It starts tonight at midnight and sundown, and you light the first candle. Now, you know, I've talked about this a good bit, that around this, the darkest time of the year, that many spiritual teachings have celebrations where you bring light inside. You bring light and color inside. Hanukkah, of course, Christmas, and we did the Hindu celebration. So this is kind of something that happens during the darkest time of the year, and I think it serves as a reminder that even though that there's dark outside, that light has power. You know, the dark, that even in the darkest of times, light can show up, a better idea can show up, and that a new dawn can break forth. That when things seem to be even at their worst, a better idea can come through. Now, you know, the shepherds and the wise men, they saw a light and they followed that light, but that light, that star of wonder was for all to see. But only those few saw it. So we have to be looking for the light. Light was the first miracle of creation. God said, let there be light, and there was light. And the light is what gives us the power to distinguish between what is good and what is not good. And we strive to be illumined. We strive to be enlightened. And that's where we all are moving forward. We all are going to get there. We're all going to become beacons of light. And so why not now? Because now is when we are really in need of it. You go out and you look at the night sky, and they tell us that the stars that we see, that by the time their light has gotten to us, that they've burned out. But their light shines forth. Even still, their light goes forth. I heard an interview by the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and the reporter asked him, they said, is all this sacrifice of your people, is it worth what you're trying to achieve? And he said, definitely he is. He said, yes, we need to continue struggling on. And he says, because we're bearing witness for our children that freedom is important. And he says, our children are seeing what we're standing up for, and our grandchildren will hear what we have stood up for. We don't teach children by what we say. We teach children by what we do. That's how they learn. And we want to remember the Native American saying that what we do, it goes forward for 7 generations. It has an impact. So what we're doing now is important for us. We're here to walk in the light. We're here to be the light. There's a wonderful song by Aretha Franklin. It's called Walk in the Light. It's from her gospel album. And she said, walk in the light. It's a beautiful light. Walk where the dewdrops of mercy shine bright. That's where we're going. The dewdrops of mercy shine bright. So we want to strive to be that greater light and to let it to expand through our hearts and souls, to reflect out through our deeds and action. Because, one little bit of good can do something amazing. One little bit of compassion, of kindness, can change the world in ways that you cannot even imagine. For 7 generations, it can change the world. And it's what we're called to do. And that's what the celebration of Hanukkah is about. It's about a little something becoming a much larger something. A little bit of good expanding to even a larger good. Now, Hanukkah is a minor holiday in the Jewish tradition. It's interesting, it's not even mentioned in the Jewish sacred text. It's only mentioned in the book of Maccabee, which is found in the Catholic Bible. There is a representation of the menorah. There was a menorah in the temple in Jerusalem, and there's actually a representation of it. It's found on Titus's triumphal arch in Rome. And it shows the Romans taking the menorah stealing the menorah is what they were doing. So we actually know that it was a historical a thing. It was a thing of history. It just isn't myth alone. Now, like Christmas, it has kind of dual mythologies that it runs on. In Christmas, we're celebrating the birth of Christ, but we also have this Santa Claus thing that's going. So 2 different themes running at the same time. Same thing with Hanukkah. Hanukkah has the traditional one that most, I think, Christians are familiar with, how a little bit of sacred oil was used to light the menorah, was used to light the sacred lamp of the temple, and they thought it would only last for 1 day, but it lasted for 8 days. And that was important because they needed 8 days to create more of the sacred oil. They needed 8 days, and they only thought they had 1. But this little bit of something lasted for them to get to a place where they had more, where they would be supplied. God will get you through. Even when you think you may not have enough, Spirit will be the bridge for you to get you to a better place. Trust in Spirit. Spirit can get us from where we are to where we need to be if we will keep our eyes on the prize, if we will keep our hearts focused on a bigger revelation. Now, the second part of the tradition is a military victory, and it's a military victory of a small band of Jewish people fighting a much larger group of Greeks. Israel had been taken over by Alexander the Great. And surprisingly, Alexander, if you want to read a really interesting person about an interesting person, Alexander the Great is a really interesting guy. Universal acclaim. The only negative thing anybody ever has to say about Alexander the Great is he died too soon. That's really the only complaint they have about him. Very interesting guy. The Jewish people loved him because he would when he conquered a group of people, he basically kind of left them alone to do their own thing. And so he was very revered in Israel. It's very interesting, too, that his last concern about his empire, what he thought was really going to hold humanity back, was racism. And he was trying to solve racism, and he was forcing his generals to intermarry among the different people that they were conquering. So he was a very advanced thinker. Now, after he died, his generals took over Israel, and they tried to run it the way they wanted to. You never hear of any of them being called the Great. In fact, most of them would be called so-and-so the numbskull, because they didn't do a really good job with Israel at all. First of all, they wanted to make the Jews into Greeks, and the Jewish people didn't want to be Greek. They wanted to remain Jewish. The other thing that the Greeks did is they went into the temple and they started putting their sacred idols up in the temple. And this was not a good idea at all because it defiled the Jewish temple. And the Jewish people were not going to have it. And so a very small group of them, a very small band of them, the Maccabees, rose up and they said, we're going to take the temple back. And miracle of miracles, they did. A small group of people fighting a much larger force were able to take their homeland back. It's exactly what's happening in Ukraine right now. And it's no coincidence that Ukraine is being led by a Jewish man. It's no coincidence at all. It's very fascinating. My friend Rabbi Nadia, she wrote to me, she says, this is a representation of the triumph of will and determination over the temptation of giving up and just accepting what the world throws at you. No, it's about standing up and speaking out and knowing what's right and moving in that direction. And she says, we've got to have more of this courage. The world is in need of repair and of pulling back together. She says, so many of us can barely make it through the day with all these challenges we're facing. We go from one to another. She says, we need the courage of the Maccabees and the wisdom of Hanukkah. A reminder that miracles are as possible today as they've ever been. And that we can create miracles when we focus on rekindling the light in the darkness, when we're willing to speak up, and when we know that we can have the courage to face the unknown and keep moving ahead despite all odds, to keep moving on towards the light, to keep focused on freedom, to keep bound up by courage and moving ahead with a determination to see a better day. Now, in this celebration of this holiday, I've talked to many my Jewish friends. I have a lot of, not a lot, but I have several rabbis that I really like to talk to because if you want to get into the weeds of a discussion, call up a rabbi. I mean, these people have studied long and hard on things, and they're really very fascinating people. And so I've been talking to several of the rabbis and other Jewish friends. And one thing that I'm hearing over and over again, and I hate to bring it up in this point of celebration. This is supposed to be a happy celebration, but all of them are saying the same thing. And I think us as non-Jewish people, we need to hear this and we need to recognize this. They are terrified about the rise of anti-Semitism. They are horrified by what they see. And it chills them to their very core because they have seen this before and they are terrorized at what could happen. And it really is worrisome to them that famous people are willing to support these ideas of hate. That people are being taught to hate. And we have celebrities teaching our kids about this hate, and kids do listen. They listen. Now, I heard another rabbi, and he had a very interesting perspective about Kanye West. He was talking about Kanye West. And he says, don't argue with him. He says, don't try to give him any attention. He says, if you want to do anything, he says, come let him talk to me. He says, I'll sit down with him. We'll have a coffee. We'll have a bagel. He said, maybe later on we'll get some vodka out. And he says, I'll share my burdens with him. I'll listen to his struggles. And what we will find out is there's far more that binds us together than separates us. That when we hear about each other's struggles, that we will understand that we're really the same. We might do things a little differently. We might believe a little differently. But in most ways, we are the same. And I really believe that the reason we have this hate that we see being played out in our world, it comes from a fundamental idea that those people over there have something that belongs to me or that I should have it, and they got it unfairly, and it's causing me not to live the best life I can. That is a lie that has run through history. You see it in the Christian text in the story of Cain and Abel. Cain thought Abel had been blessed by God, and he couldn't have the blessings, and so what did he do? He murdered his brother. This is a story as old as humanity, and we have to step up to it and be willing to speak up about it. We can't allow this hate to run rampant because it is a thing, it's fire we play with, and it can get out of control quickly. The idea that somebody has something that can make you happy and you can't get it is a lie. Has no truth to it at all. You have the ability to draw everything you need to your life. You've been given that by God, and no one can take that away from you. My teacher, Kennedy Schultz, he had an interesting thing he would say. Of course, he grew up in New York City. And he said, if you would walk down a block in New York City, and he said, if you could listen in to every townhouse and hear the troubles and complaints and the difficulties that each family is having, he said, by the end of the block, you would be grateful for your own problems. You'd be grateful. You wouldn't want to switch them with anybody's. President Kennedy, he said that we live lives, that most of us live lives of quiet desperation. Quiet desperation. And we want to know that. You know, it's easy to think that everybody else has it easier than us. No, we all have our challenges. And we want to be a little bit compassionate with each other. We never know what the other person is going through. My niece called me up this week because she had been very upset that a young man that appeared on the Ellen Show, Stephen Boss, he was the DJ on the Ellen Show, and evidently he was just this wonderful, bright light of love and happiness and joy, and he committed suicide this week. Nobody saw it coming. Everybody thought this guy had the best life possible. He had a great marriage, he had great kids, and he had a great career. Nobody saw this coming. They think he might have had money problems. But, you know, if we could have talked to him, it's like, don't worry about that. We'll get you money. We can replace money. But your life, your children, they're not going to easily recover from this. And you don't know the blessings you can bring into life through yourself. It's easy to give up. We got to have compassion for people to do, but we should remind ourselves, regardless of how dark the night is, there is something wonderful and glorious that could be right on its way to us. No matter how dark and bleak it seems, we have a responsibility not just for ourselves, but for those around us, to keep on moving ahead, to keep our eyes lifted up. People are watching you. Yes, you. And they need your courage. They need your inspiration. They need to know that you're not going to give up, that you are headed in a good day, that you have faith in God, you have faith in life. So we have a responsibility to one another. I was doing on some social media platforms that I really don't understand at all. I'm not even really sure how they got on my telephone. But every once in a while, you come across something that really is amazing. And I came across this little Jewish lady. She's 90 years old. And her grandkids were recording her because they wanted to have her story told and to get it out. And I'm sure she's like me, that she doesn't even really understand what TikTok is about and couldn't even, figure it out. But here her grandchildren were using her story to spread, or using that platform to spread her story. And her story is that she was a Jewish girl in Germany. The Nazis rounded her up and she went to a concentration camp. 750 of them were rounded up and taken to the gas chamber. The Nazis were prepared to turn the gas on. Something happened, it didn't work, and they released them. 3 days later, the Americans showed up and she had her freedom. She says she thanks God. She thanks God that he kept her alive. She said because she's got those grandchildren and she sees the miracle of their life, and that she's grateful that God was with her in that tomb of despair. That even in that place where they had built to end her life, she was able to witness the glory and mercy of God shining forth like the dewdrops of mercy. So she said that life, it's not all been easy, but, she could have stayed in bitterness. She could have stayed in fear. She could have stayed in anger. The whole world would have justified her staying so. But instead, she rose up and she allowed love and compassion to flow through her heart, so much so that her great-great-grandchildren are saying, you've got to spread your word. They're not going to let it die out. And who knows how long her story will be around for generations to hear. And who knows how that little bit of inspiration and encouragement may keep people moving on and doing something better. With just a little bit of good, we can change the world. Now, here's the thing. People are often willing to do good, but they're waiting for their life to get better. They're waiting for the job to come through. They're waiting for the partner. They're waiting for this, that, or the other thing. Just let me get a raise and I'll show you how generous I can be. Just let me have some love in my life. I'll show you how compassionate I can be. But that's not the way it works. You've got to get out in front. If you want a blessing in your life, you've got to go out and you've got to be a blessing. That's how you will have God awe you with the miracles that it will rain down upon you. Now, this week, I had a Christmas miracle happen to me, a real miracle. I've told you the story many times before. I know most of you are kind of sick of hearing about it, about how that there's a period of my life where I had gone out to San Francisco. The job hadn't worked well for me, so I had to go back to Macon, and I had no money. It was right at Christmas times, so I got home, and I had bought little trinkets of gifts for my nieces because I was really worried about Christmas for them. So I had spent $20, that's all I had, on buying gifts from them in Chinatown in San Francisco. When I got back home, I talked my mom into letting me get the nieces together in the kitchen and we'd make Christmas cookies. Actually, not Christmas cookie, peanut butter cookies, because I figured that was the easiest thing that I could do. And when I realized this week, those were the last cookies I've ever cooked. That was it. Because we burnt the cookies, and we still ate them. And my nieces swore that they tasted good. Now, here's the thing. When I get together, the nieces are going to talk about it. Now, at that time, I had over 5 nieces, and it was a blended family. And you know what happens to blended families? Often they unblend. And when our family unblended, I had lost communications with one of the nieces. It's been over 20 years since I heard from her. And she saw the posting on Facebook, and she got in touch with me. And she said, I remember that Christmas. I remember that Christmas. I remember your kindness. Because she had just kind of come into our family. She actually came into our family on Christmas Eve because she had been in the foster system. And she said, I remember those acts of kindness. Now, here's the thing, friends, I want you to take hold of. I remember that Christmas. That Christmas, it was a dark place for me. I was coming back from San Francisco. My finances were awful. I didn't know where my career was headed. I thought of moving back to Atlanta was a defeat. I had two of my best friends in life, both of them died within a month's time. I was worried about my own health, and it was a dark and bleak time for me. But there was something within my heart and soul that was able to inspire me to do a little bit, to use nothing but sugar and dough, to have an experience with those girls that they remember to this day. There was an inspiration within my heart and soul to use what I had to inspire them to know something better for themselves. Sometimes we may not think we've got very much, but you, with God's grace, can do something that's going to have an impact, that's going to remind people that they have the power to move forward in life and to bring about a greater good. I was talking to my friend, Rabbi Nadia, who I absolutely adore, and she was telling me another Jewish tradition or another idea I had never heard about. And it's wrapped up in Hanukkah, and it's about when the Jews left Egypt. And, my vision of it comes from the movie, The Ten Commandments. You remember that with Charlton Heston? And, he had the staff there, and he was at the Red Sea, and they're all just standing around very patiently, and he holds out his rod, and the seas part. Well, that's not in the Jewish tradition. She told me in the Jewish tradition, the Israelites were running to get away. They were fleeing Pharaoh's army. They were running out of there as I run out of Weight Watchers meeting. They were on the move. And she says when they got to the waters didn't part. When they got ankle deep, the waters didn't part. Some of them got knee deep. Some of them got hip deep. Some of them went over their heads, but they kept moving on. They kept having faith that they were going to get to the promised land and Spirit was going to support them. Now, I know, dear friends, many of us feel like we're knee deep in the water of despair and turmoil and confusion. Some of us feel like we're shoulders deep. Some of us feel like we're head over in all this turmoil that's going on. But you keep moving on. Don't stay still. Keep walking forward. There's a light of God's love that is shining forward, and if we keep moving on, we're going to get to a promised land where compassion and kindness flow like milk and honey. It's what we've been promised to do, and if we will keep the covenant, if we will keep the faith, God will show us the way. This is the truth in your life. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Right here in this room. Right here in this room, yeah. I'm gonna let it shine. Right here in this room. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Right here in this room. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine.
this world. I'm gonna let it shine all over this world. I'm gonna let it shine all over this world. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine,
Let it shine.
let it shine, let it shine, let it shine,
Let it shine.
let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Last one, y'all. Let it shine. And feel it in your heart right now. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Thank you, guys. So now we get the opportunity to let this light shine forth, and we do that by making a contribution to this wonderful center of ours. You can do that in a couple of ways. You can do that for your prayer work. You can pray in that building. That would be a wonderful thing. Pray in the money to renovate that building. You can do volunteer work for us. Boy, you're talking about volunteers. If we get that building, we're gonna have a lot of need for volunteers. And of course, you can get it through money. We love that too. Bless the money that comes into us. However you choose to do it, know that Spirit is going to reward and bless you wonderfully. So take your hand and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. If the ushers will step down, Sam and Lucy, I know you got something amazing for us.
Well, we need y'all's help. Sam's going to start the beat. We're going to do a Hanukkah song.
Hey, love that.
Inspired by you.
Oh, wonderful.
1, 2, 3. We need help from anybody who knows it. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Time to have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. A sivivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night that spread their sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Shall we do it again?
Sure.
Hey, 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 oh, Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Come at the party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. A sivivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. But it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah, it's time to light the menorah. Oh, but it's Hanukkah, oh yes, it's Hanukkah, it's our time to light the menorah. One for each light, one for each light, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Same thing. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
Ah, love it. Love it. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you brought the latkes in. You know, we didn't even talk about the food involved with the Hanukkah. Jelly donuts. I was going to go buy Dunkin' Don and bring us some jelly donuts, but I don't need any more of that for the holidays. But come on up, Don. Thank you for your contributions. Boy, it looks like a full plate today, and that's a wonderful thing. We bless this. We know that this funds, these money, your prayers, your blessings are allowing us to continue to be that beacon of love and inspiration that we've been called to do. You're making it possible. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, and we say together, and so it is. All right, so we have a very special treat. Victor Manley is going to come up and he's going to share a little bit with us about what he's been doing and what he's going to be doing. Come on up, Victor. Look at him, a fashion plate. Oh, my goodness. You know, Victor is in grad school now and he's doing excellent. Tell us all about it, Victor.
Yeah. I think the last time I was here was June.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been over 5 months since I've been back. Yeah, a lot has happened in 5 months. I found a place that I'm currently staying at. It was a real hassle to find it down in Fort Lauderdale. Prices are scary over there. But yeah, I went through a summer semester, and I just finished my fall semester, and I'm doing really good. Yeah, I got.
So what are you studying? What are you studying to do?
Yeah, it's a Master of Biological Sciences towards in healthcare studies.
Okay.
So it's towards medical school for me. I'm still on the path towards becoming a sports medicine physician. Yeah. Yep.
So tell us about camp. Victor is going to be an advisor to camp. He's going to go out to camp. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the CSL Teen Winter Camp, that'll be through the weekend of the Martin Luther King Day weekend, so January 13th to the 15th or the 16th. So we'll be over in Colorado Springs, very cold over there, but it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be my first winter camp that I'll be an adult advisor, and I'm looking forward to that. I will be taking Miles Pettingill will be with us, as well as Anya, and so we'll have both of them that will travel with me throughout the trip. And we're all gonna have a fun time. This will be my fourth winter camp that I will have attended, and I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you know in college, you always can use a little extra funds. Look at the poor boy's only got a T-shirt to wear out. We got to get him some extra money. So if you want to come up and slip him a little cash, he'll be more than receptive. I know he'll put it to good use. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
So, gosh, we want to take all this high vibration. This is a time you get to use it. And you want to drink in this high vibration. And as I'm going to do this treatment, I want you to have an image of what you want to see in your life. It may be your family getting together and not talking politics during the holidays. It may be an easy travel through the highway. It may be avoiding those Oreo cookies that are dipped in white chocolate. Keep an image of what you want to unfold, and as you feel the energy of my treatment, project that to that image. Now, I'm going to do this treatment in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, let that part slide by. But just know there's truth with me this morning. There is only one God and one mind, one power, one love, and that power has created me from itself plus nothing else. I am not all of God, but all that I am is God. And here I stand today proclaiming God's goodness, compassion, love, and joy for myself and everyone else. This morning I choose to lift my eyes to a better knowing. This morning I choose to see my world healing and blessing. I see the people of the world coming together, knowing that we are just one people and we can imagine and live in a day where compassion and kindness flow like milk and honey. It is not too much to ask for the children of God. So here today I leave this place inspired. Here today I leave it encouraged. I know I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I am here to be courageous with God's love, its compassion, its kindness. I am here to make the world a better place for my having been in it. And I am not turning back. I have seen a better day and I am moving forward. The dawn has broken, and I am heralding the wonderful bright light of God's new possibility. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, and that is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, many blessings.
I see